Welcome, and thank you for joining us today as we commit to supporting your life journey in knowing the truth of your being. Now, your commitment to this journey empowers you to become your infinite self. Let us begin this morning with the prescription for spiritual alignment. We are aligned with the presence of God within. We are protected by God's love, wisdom, knowledge, and grace. The God consciousness within helps us discover more about who we are. Thank you, God, for the gift of spiritual intuition. Thank you, God, for aligning our conscious, subconscious, and superconscious minds. Amen. Now, in today's video, Jane is going to reveal to us what happens after you die. Let's watch.
Hey, welcome to the windows of the world. Here we are. Why am I going to be talking to you about the windows of the world? This is the reason many of you have emailed me and asked me a question. And the same question is, what happens when I pass over? Can you explain it to me? I can. This is the windows of the world. This is just a picture that helped me in some of my classes to explain to my students many different versions of the same picture. Today I'm using it for what happens to us after we leave the planet. Our mission is over, our karma is over, our play is over, our illusion is broken. We leave the planet. And where do we land? And then what do we do when we land there? And who cares? Aha! Very interesting questions you asked. Well, here I go. I'm answering them best I can. Bear with me. If you didn't ask this question, it may still be of some support to you as you journey on your spiritual journey, because this question will come up for you sooner or later. So here goes. The windows of the world. After we leave the body, we go into a place where we look at our life plan that we just completed. And I call that going into the windows of the world. Because in the windows of the world, now I'm pretending here, I don't know what else to call this, but the windows of the world, where you can see everything. So you are now with me in the windows of the world. And you have passed over. And you're standing there with the masters, and they're saying to you, well, how did you like the life you just left? Did you get everything out of it you wanted? Were there some things that you wish you had done better? Is there some people that you wish you could have another lifetime with? Hey, did you do your forgiveness work? I'm serious, the masters will say. I'm serious. How much did you cooperate in the evolution of your soul? And you sit there, and then you say, okay, I'm going to go through my life. And it's like a moving picture. If you can picture this, that you're sitting in the movies, and now all of a sudden they say, this is your life. I think there was a movie about that too. You might check that movie out because it's very, very interesting. But this is your life. And you get to watch that from a baby to the time that you left the body. And you get to evaluate from where you left the body, the consciousness that you're in when you leave the body, and look at the play that you've just been in and evaluate it. And you can say, oh, I really like the fact that I was very business savvy in this life. But there's some areas that I didn't do so well. Maybe my relationship with my family, because I was so busy being a successful business lady or man. Next lifetime, I'd like to have more time with family. Or, you know what? I got everything I wanted. What else is there? I got the perfect wife, the perfect children, the perfect career. Everything in my life was perfect except one thing. I never felt fulfilled. There was an emptiness in my life. And I don't know how to fill that emptiness, you're saying to the masters of karma. I don't know what to do now because I've succeeded in all the little big halfway desires that I've had this lifetime. And there's still something missing. Oh, says the masters. Okay, I hear you. Now I'm going to help you to look at your life in a new way that you just left. I want you to look at it as the observer of the life and not in it. A conscious observer. You know, I've been talking to you all about being conscious observers, and you know how to do that because you've had to do it in every lifetime you ever left. You had to be in the play and talk about the play and observe yourself in the play. So when I tell you to be the observer of self, hopefully I'm triggering you to remind you that you know how to do that. You know how to observe your life and yet be in it because you've had to do it for eons and eons of time. It's not the first time you ever ended up in the windows of the world. You always end up in the windows of the world. You always look at your life. You always decide whether you like what happened or you don't like what happened. And you want things changed, or you liked a little of this and you didn't like a little of that, and let's put another lifetime together to fulfill some of my deeper desires. And I would also like a better relationship with my wife. Didn't happen this lifetime, or my husband. So can we come back again? And I promise you I won't be so involved in business that I never look left or right and let her take care of the children and then blame her for not doing it the way she should when I haven't been involved at all. Oh, I don't like that part of myself. I want to be part of my family next time. Oh, I know how to do that, says the master. I'll make you a woman. Your next lifetime you'll be a woman. Because if you're a woman in your next lifetime, you'll be the nurturing mother, taking care of your children. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to tell you something. Because you weren't a very good husband, and you were so focused on business, and you left her make all those decisions, and then got angry with her when she didn't, when something happened to the kids that you didn't like, you blamed her. So now I'm making you the woman in this little new piece of karma, this new lifetime. But you're going to have to suffer with a gentleman who will be very much like you were, and you're going to have to forgive him. You are going to have to forgive him. This is your spiritual responsibility, the master says. You have to forgive him because you are forgiving yourself. Do you see that? Do you see that? So, I'm going to put this wonderful life together so that I can fulfill your desire, soul, to be a better husband, wife, and do better with your children. The place to do that is the female body. And you say, oh, I don't want a female body. My God, I love being a man. I love running the show. Well, the Master says to you, this is very important for you to learn to be humble and appreciate. And understand there's another aspect. You have to master your male and your female aspects of yourself. That's part of the soul journey. You may not like it, but you're going to have to get used to it, because the best thing I can do for you, now that we're looking at your life at the windows of the world here, and we're making new decisions for you, I want you to think this over a little bit and find out if it's in the best interest of your soul to have that type of an experience, so that ultimately you will master the female aspect of yourself, appreciate the male aspect, forgive the male aspects of yourself that you didn't use properly because you didn't blend them with the female that you are married to. So now here you are, unhappy, but you have another chance. You like that idea? Well, I don't know, says the soul. Boy, that's a lot to think about. Can I have another male life? Well, says the Master, you can. Of course you can have another male life. But what do you want to accomplish with that? Well, I want to still have that empowerment a male has. But you know what? I enjoyed it a lot. And I was really good at it. Could I have another lifetime like that? And then do that other little lifetime as a woman and another time? Is that possible? The Master looks at you and says, soul, that is very possible. But it's going to put you on a treadmill. And you're going to be running around in a circle. Remember, we showed you the karmic circle, and I'm going to remind you of your karma here. I've got to tell you about your little karma here that you have to deal with. You got to deal with this stuff. I'm giving you an opportunity to balance your karma. But of course, if you don't want to balance it, that's up to you. You can have many, many lifetimes as a male or a female. It's up to you. But it's my responsibility as a master of karma to advise you, but you have the free will to make the choice you want to make. And believe me, I'm very good at my job. That's why they put me in the Master of Karma role. I'm very good at my job. And I can give you your best possibility to move in your spiritual growth this next lifetime, because you'll have more time to devote to other things than making another big deal on another $1 million. Which, look at you. You're standing before me. A billionaire. And you're unhappy because things didn't work out like you wanted them to. And you realize that you can't take your billions with you. You had to leave it to the company you created. You had to leave it. You can't bring it with you. So now tell me about your $1 million, $1 billion that you saved. You did a lot of good for a lot of people. You put a lot of people to work. And you did a very, very good job of being honorable. You want another chance to do that again? And you're going to end up with $1 trillion maybe next time. How many boats can you buy? How many cars can you have? How many yachts can you have? How many beautiful homes can you have? Well, I ask you. I think you got to make up your mind here, soul. I really think that you ought to think this whole thing over. Because now that we're in the windows of the world, and The universe is changing. The things that were important to you this lifetime are going to be very much different the next time you come down in incarnation 500 years from now. But if you make a decision to be a woman next lifetime, I can get you down on planet Earth in probably 75 years. Do you realize how you would expand your consciousness? I can put you as a man 500 years from now, but a female 75 years from now. It's up to you. And besides, I told you that I'm very good at my predictions and very good at helping you with your karma. And I'm a very persuasive karmic master. Now, what are you going to choose? Oh my God, says the soul to the karmic master. Whoa, you made a point. What is it? What's most important? Oh, you know what was one of the most important things, Master? I didn't get enough time to meditate. I forgot all about religion. I forgot all about God. I was so focused on my work. And yet, there's a part of me that's not fulfilled. Can you address that for me? Help me to understand. The Master of Karma says, let me look into your karma. Hoo-hoo, I see in your karma, 400 years ago, you were a priest. A wonderful Jesuit priest. And you love God. And you devoted your life to God. And by golly, when you ended up in the windows of the world with me, you were unhappy. You were very unhappy. And you said to me, well, that was a wasted life. I gave my whole life to God and I never knew God. What was wrong? That was not right. I didn't like it. The church was corrupt. Oh my goodness. I don't know what. It was terrible. I want to do something of value in the world. And the most valuable thing I can do is come down and build an empire and help a lot of people with employees. So I can have lots of employees to do nice things for them. Ho-ho! So we fulfilled that desire for you this lifetime. But this old priest way back there, he's still within you. He's still trying to figure out what on earth was that lifetime all about. But there was a part of him that was fulfilled, even though he's not happy. He died unhappy because he never got to know God like he wanted to know God. That was little desire was here. Ooh, I see it right here. I see that little desire right here. It's the desire to know God. And I didn't get to fulfill it. So, is it possible if I come back as a woman? I'll have more time to meditate, to learn about love, to be supportive, to be nurturing, and learn more about God's presence in my life. And the soul says to the Master, I can remember. I can remember so clearly, says the soul to the Master, about that lifetime. I remember very, very well. I remember practicing the presence. And I would clear my mind. And I would just be still. And I would go out in nature and sit there. And it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Can you promise me, Master, that if I come down as a woman, that I have within myself that calming, meditative presence that I can connect to in this life that I'm going to go into in 75 years? Now, Master, if that is possible, I really, really, truly like to try it. Because I know that part of me is there. I honed it, I nurtured it. Granted, I didn't get what I thought I wanted, but that was just an illusion that I thought that God was some being that I would go and sit at the right hand of God. That's what they said it. And I ended up here in the windows of the world. And that made me very angry. But if there's more for me to learn, I'd really like to learn it. Is it possible? And the Master looks at the soul and says, you have free will. And that free will is always yours. Now I can create this life that as a woman, you'll have 3 children. You will love them dearly. You'll have a husband that's busy, but you're going to have to forgive him for his busyness. And in forgiving him of his busyness and not giving you a lot of attention, you're really forgiving yourself. And if you're willing to do that, then there'll be times for you to get back in the flow of meditation, get back into that priestly consciousness that you were in, that wonderful consciousness that you developed in devotion to God. That didn't die. That didn't get wiped out. No, it's still there for you. It's still there as a possibility. You see, I see it. It's a white string right here on this karmic ball. It's right here. It's ready to be developed. If you want to develop it, you can. So think on these things. I know I've given you a lot to think about. Think about it. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks is much different on this time frame than the earthly plane. It's a difference. The 2 weeks will come very quickly. It's only an expression I'm using with you because you're so new out of the 3rd dimension. You understand 2 weeks. Of course, we don't work with 2 weeks, but hey, it's okay. In other words, I'm going to give you the time you need to think it over. But I want you to think it over. And by no means do you have to jump into it. 75 years from now, you've got some time to think it over and look at all of the karma that you have created in other lifetimes, and also think about some other things you'd like to fulfill in this lifetime I just talked to you about. So now that we've visited you in the windows of the world, where you can see everything. You see, as you look out of these windows, you see all these peaks. There are all these peaks here. And this is all your karma. But you can see it all. You are sitting right down here. You're little tiny. You're not any bigger than this. And this is all your karma. Do you see that there's some big pieces, some dark pieces, some light pieces? There's lots of pieces here. And they all belong to you. And you can investigate this because you have time. You have time to think it over and to work with the masters and to carve out a lifetime that's going to bring and fulfill you to move in consciousness. Because, as you know, your goal is to become I am presence. I am the presence. That means that you are God conscious. You are God aware. Right now, you are not God aware. You're just aware of the limited ego self that you just died in, passed over in. Now, let me show you something. I want you to look at this. all these little eyes are little karmic pieces. They all have little eyes attached to them. And there's a lot of things that you can do. It's up to you. And if you want to create a lifetime where you can completely come into God consciousness, then you have to start going within. Because now that you've been this wonderful businessman with all this money, you found out that that was good, but it didn't fulfill that inner part of you. Now as a female, you can go within, because that's possible for you, and that you need to learn that. Now, I will tell you, there's other souls that can do this same thing as a male, but you can't because of your past history. You have to incarnate as a woman to do this work, simply because it's going to be easier for you. It's going to be more direct for you. Another soul, and each soul is different, I would tell them something different because I have a different history on them. Nobody, that's why I love my job so much. I love being the Lord of the Karma because I have so many vast different souls, billions of different souls with different histories. None of them are the same. I love my job because I'm never bored. Everybody is different, and I get to express all that I am through them and help them make wise decisions. Sometimes even after I've talked to them, they don't make wise decisions, but I certainly do my part in breaking their illusions of what the third dimensional world can give to them, because don't you know, when you were out there, you were living in the opposites. You were living in the cause and effect. One day you were the most happiest man. Do you remember how happy you were when you signed that contract? And it was for $7 million. Wow. And you were able to do all those wonderful things, and you were ecstatic. Oh my God, you celebrated for a week over that. Do you remember that? Wow. It was wonderful. But then, with that $7 million came a heavy responsibility. A heavy responsibility. And you had to divorce yourself from anything else that was going on in your life to make that go, to make that float, make that do what you wanted it to do. You had to kind of divorce yourself from anything else here, and you had to put your nose to the grindstone for $7 million. And the problem was that you had all this money and bought all those boats and even bought an airplane. Oh my God, you only got to go in it about 5 times. All your friends borrowed it, and you paid for the gas. All your friends took their kids to Disney World. You didn't take your kids. You were too busy making money. But you were kind. You let them all borrow your plane. You only got to ride in it 2 times. That beautiful jet. That's all you got because you were so busy. And oh, that boat that you got, that yacht, oh my God, that was so beautiful. And so many people enjoyed riding in that boat. Oh man, they had wonderful parties. And you go on that yacht, and it costs, $100,000 for one weekend for fuel and maids and cleanup, blah, 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 blah. And you got a phone call in the middle of this wonderful party you were going to have. And my God, something happened to one of your factories. And all of a sudden this wonderful party that you had planned goes poof. And you are in the midst of trying to work out what the heck to do with this problem you had. And yet you could hear all your friends partying, having a wonderful time. You even hired a band so they could dance. You are an absolute generous soul. But guess where it got you? Nowhere. Boy, you had 7 homes and you only got into them occasionally, and with all your staff, they got to enjoy your beautiful homes while you sat there and worked, because you were the one that was in charge of everything. That was your life. That was your life. I just want to tell you, I want to remind you so that you will have clarity about that wonderful life that you just left. That was an illusion. That was an illusion, wasn't it? Do you want to tell me how wonderful, magnificent it was? You're talking to the Lord of Karma here. Well, I've given you a lot of information right now. So, when you come back here again, you'll be back and we'll put your life together. After you've given it some deep thought. And we love you and we care about you. You're part of us. So, you have free will. So we say to you, go and ponder on all this. And we look forward to seeing you again with some ideas that will support the evolution of your soul. Well, how'd you like that little play? Here I am, sitting in my little house, talking to you about the windows of the world. I'm hoping that gave you some understanding about how that works. I can talk more about it, and if you didn't understand, send me emails. Send me whatever you want to hear, because I can talk a lot about this process. I wanted to give you a little taste, a little tiny taste of what it is to be in the windows of the world. As I said, I can use this little picture at least 20 different ways. This is the way I used it today. And it will come back. I will use it some more, but it'll be a different story. I will use it in a new and different way, trying to help you to remember the time you sat in the windows of the world and you had that observer self watching yourself and knowing that you have all the tools to make wise decisions right now. Bye-bye for now.
When I first watched this video, I pictured myself in the windows of the world, knowing that I had left my body and I was no longer tied to my past life's karma, illusions, or life plan. I wanted to awaken to knowing my true self. In other words, I wanted to move beyond third dimensional consciousness. Also, I was relieved that I had the opportunity to do a do-over for whatever I felt I had not accomplished this lifetime. Do I leave with regrets, unforgiveness, unfulfilled desires? No, absolutely not. I chose to become an active observer of my play, to do my forgiveness work, to move beyond third dimensional consciousness into fourth dimensional consciousness. What do you choose to do in this moment? Do you choose to actively become an observer of your play? Do your forgiveness work? Balance your karma? Only you can realize the desires of your heart in awakening to the truth of your being. Please let us support you every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for our support for your journey gathering. Additional information is listed in the chat area below. We are so appreciative of your loving gifts to the center that you have so freely given. These gifts allow us to continue this work for all of humanity. Information for donations is also listed in the chat area below. And at this time, let us take this moment to meditate together. And just close your eyes if you're comfortable doing so. And allow the peace of this moment to permeate every atom and cell of your body, knowing you are safe. We are moving into the silence of our being. And we are open to the new revelations, understanding, and experiences that the masters are gifting us with. We open our hearts to this new awareness of becoming. We are dedicated to moving beyond third dimensional consciousness, moving beyond the opposites, into the new understanding of fourth dimensional consciousness. The peace that passes all understanding. We choose love. We choose forgiveness. We believe in the truth of our being. As we move beyond karmic bondage, We have awakened to the desire of our heart to know ourselves in infinite consciousness. We move into the infinite light of all knowing. And we continue to open our hearts to loving unconditionally and serving selflessly. We live in the moment, knowing this is the only moment that we have. And we trust in this moment and are open to infinite guidance and intuition. Amen. And when you're comfortable, just open your eyes, knowing that you are love, unconditional love, peace, and you give of yourself selflessly. Have a wonderful week, and please join us next week. We'll be so happy to see you. Bye now.